Hey friends! So I already filmed the intro to this video once, but then I realized that I forgot that this video was a fucking collab. Today's video, I'm gonna be talking about my favorite albums of the year, and it's a collaboration with my very good buddy here on YouTube, Laura Neuzeth, who also loves music and also talks about music regularly, and we have a similar taste. I like her style. She just got her hair cut and she's looking like St. Vincent and I fucking love it. You guys should go check her channel out. She also has like a completely separate channel that it's all Spanish speaking. Laura works so damn hard and you should go check her out for English speakers and for Spanish speakers. But today we're gonna be talking about some of my favorite releases from the last year. There's like two that technically came out at the end of 2018, but I didn't really like start listening to them until 2019. So let's go. Also, I'm filming this at the end of November, so in case there were any records that came out in December that like popped in at the last second, aka maybe Run the Jewels does that again like they did 3 years ago, because they did that 3 years ago, I'll put an addendum in there. Albums that came out in 2018 that I discovered in 2019 that I very much enjoyed. Death Valley Girls' Darkness Reigns. I own this on vinyl. I showed it in my record collection. I saw Death Valley Girls 3 times this year and they are quite good. They're from LA. They're very cool. It's like dark psychedelic stuff and like murky, spooky, gloomy, scuzzy rock and roll, and I love them. They're so good live. Their music has such like a presence that I dig and I've been inspired by this year. They're so cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Darkness Reigns is dope. Abre Camino is amazing. They have a music video with Iggy Pop. The song Disaster is what we're after, and it's really cool and weird and you should watch it. So I'll leave a link to it in a card. So yes, Death Valley Girls, Darkness Reigns technically came out at the end of 2018, but I only really started listening to it in 2019. Next, another album that came out in 2018 that I did not really pay attention to is Muted Crowd by Spirit Award. And I've seen Spirit Award probably also 3 times this year. I mean, they're local, so it happens, but they're also cool dudes and they're working on a new album. This record technically did come out in like October of 2018, and then another EP came out like several months later. Very good. Again, kind of like this atmospheric, psychedelic stuff that's a lot of pedals, a lot of loops, a lot of effects and stuff, but like tastefully used. Really enjoy the album. I don't own it on vinyl, but I've been listening to it a lot, particularly lately. Yeah, I highly recommend them if you like kind of like wall of sound, psychedelic stuff that has that like repetition, but it like is almost like not trancey, because trance sounds like dance music. It's repetitive in a way that's not annoying, if that makes sense. So Muted Crowd by Spirit Award. I will say that really none of these are in any particular order because truthfully there wasn't like one album this year that like blew my brains out. Next, another album that came out in 2018. The Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack is a fucking banger. Okay, I have talked about this film so many times this year, and I will go on record and say Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is proof that Sony can make a Spider-Man movie by themselves without any of Disney's help, because they did it with Spider-Verse and it was a fucking perfect film. The animation was beautiful. The voice actors were fantastic. The artfulness behind like the choices that they used in the animation was inspiring. And the soundtrack, the soundtrack is a fucking bop. And I love it. I own it on vinyl. I bought it on vinyl. I found it. I was so happy that I was able to find it because it's so good. Like I will admit hip hop is not a genre that I know that much about. It's not a genre that I keep up with a ton just because I tend to lean more rock and roll. But like that record is so good. Like movie soundtracks that are using hip hop in a way that's like effective and cool and new, just like makes me happy, because so many soundtracks, they like fall back on like easy choices, and I feel like this was a soundtrack that kind of mirrored the new ideas and like the inspiring cutting edge aspect of Into the Spider-Verse, and I'm so goddamn excited for the second one, and I don't want to wait to 2021. Is it 2021 or 2022? I don't know. We're gonna have to at least wait another year and a half, and I'm sad about it. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was the best movie I saw in 2018. And also the soundtrack, fantastic. Okay, next we're actually getting into albums that came out in 2019, most of which are local. But you know, when you come to my channel to talk about music, I'm not going to talk about all of the newest, hottest releases. Foals, Part 2. Everything not saved will be lost. I slept on Part 1, and I will admit I need to go listen to Part 1 quite a bit more. I just bought tickets to go see Foals and another band that I will be talking about in a little bit, to go see a show in Canada in May, and because they left out Seattle strategically, and I think it's because there's gonna be a festival. I have no idea, but the timing is sus. So Foals Part 2, Everything Not Saved Will Be Lost. It's the longest damn title, which actually there's another album I'm gonna talk about that has a longer title. Probably my favorite song on the record is Dreamed Of. Some people kind of dislike some of the later Foals stuff because they've gotten more into like the arena rock type genre. I still like it. I still enjoy it. I feel like I've gotten past the age where I look down on people kind of like evolving and capitalizing on music that gets more mainstream, because it's like, if you're just making music that is just like a natural evolution from your older stuff, like why is that a bad thing? It's when people get to like sellout status like Bono and U2 where I kind of, my eye twitches a bit. But stuff like the Black Keys and Foals kind of leaning into more like radio friendly rock doesn't necessarily bother me so much, because they're still making good music, you know? At least I still like it. I don't know. Because at the end of the day, they still put on a fucking awesome live show, and that's what matters the most to me. If I enjoy it live, that's what I want. Next, we have an album that I only recently discovered, like very recently, but I've been listening to it constantly, and I regret not seeing their full live set. Frankie and the Witch Fingers album that came out this year called Zam, and it's so good. They are another band that puts on a phenomenal live show, and the energy of their live shows are insane. Probably my favorite songs are, let me find it, Dracula Drug, Pleasure, and Dark Sorcerer. So good, so upbeat. It's like, I think I talked about them in another video that I recorded for this month, but it's, if you like the OCs, that's a little bit scuzzier. It's a little bit less just like straight punk rock, but this album's just a really great one to listen to in traffic, because it just like gets you going, and you're like, you can't help but like smile and like air drum along to it safely, like air drum on your steering wheel. Okay, now on to some bands that I did see live plenty of times. Duke Evers' Dreams and Desires that are Common to Youth. Dreams and Desires, Common to Youth. Yeah, that's the name of the album. These are some of the nicest guys in town. Fantastic kind of dancey rock and roll. This new one has kind of aspects of like grittier rock on it. It's not quite as like pretty at times. There's some songs that are a little prettier, but I feel like they make radio-friendly rock that isn't getting the credit that it deserves and isn't getting the plays that it deserves on the radio. And I'm just really excited that they were able to put out this like super well-rounded, well-crafted album. Old Hollywood and New Hollywood are probably my favorite tracks on the album, but yeah, they're another band that puts on like a killer live show. I have some photos that I took of them at stuff. They're fantastic to photograph. It's only 2 of them, but they managed to just like fill the room with energy and with joy, and I really enjoyed their record that came out this year. Love those guys. Next! We have The Devil You Know by the Coathangers, and I saw the Coathangers twice this year, and this record, I'll admit, I think I like their earlier releases more, but this one is also fantastic. I particularly like F the NRA, and then Five Farms is also killer. I like the whole album as a piece, as a collective, but those songs particularly I like a lot. Something about the punk rock that Coathangers are putting out reminds me of like earlier times in a way that makes me like nostalgic. Again, they put on a great live show, and particularly Fuck the NRA. It's just like, cool, I can just scream it in my car and feel better about, well, better, and then also like, what's happening? Because what's happening? Yeah, The Devil You Know is great. Highly recommend it. Very good album. Okay, now on to the other band that I'm going to go see live in Canada in May. Local Natives, Violet Street. Oh boy, I love Local Natives so much. This is a band that I have seen 4 times. Once at Sasquatch, I think 4 times. They are a band that, like Phoenix to me, always put on live shows that are so different than like the record itself, but still so fantastic. And this album, I much prefer to the previous one. I really, really love this one. I'm super excited to go see them in Canada. But yeah, they're playing in Canada the week before Memorial Day, and then there's like a 4 or 5 day break, and then they're playing in LA, and I'm like, that's the perfect time for a festival that hasn't been announced yet. Comrades, what the hell is that about? So I like when I saw that dual headlining show, and I was like, oh my god, that's like my dream dual headlining show. Holy shit, I want to try and get a photo pass to it, but I did buy tickets. So I'm super excited. One of my favorite Local Natives videos of all time that I feel like everybody should watch is this live, like, acoustic version of Who Knows Who Cares off the first album, which is, I think, still to this day one of my favorite, like, second favorite Local Natives song. They did a session with La Blogotech, one of their takeaway shows, which is another thing that Phoenix has done a ton of. It's this French video group, La Blogotech, that does these live things where they take bands into these situations that aren't normal for playing live stuff, but Local Natives, they're in this like outdoor shopping kind of area that's like really pretty. It's in France, I think, and they're just playing in this outdoor shopping mall that just has this really cool acoustic aspect to it, and it's just beautiful. They're just like 1 or 2 cameras that they're just kind of walking around. It's all like candle lit and like dark, and just people are staring at them walking by. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. It's beautiful. I think it's from like 8 years ago. Seriously, one of my favorite Local Natives videos ever. I will talk about this one before the last 2 because the last 2 are probably my favorites of the year, and also some of my best friends making music. I unapologetically love Lil Nas X, and I have zero shame about it. I know that Old Town Road got big because of TikTok, and I know that I have shared my thoughts about TikTok in the past. My boyfriend listened to Old Town Road so many times. I got to the point where I was like tolerating it, to the point where I loved it, and I can sing along to the entire thing. I know that there's like people that I hang out with that hate it so much because they're still so precious about their music taste. I've gotten to the point where I don't fucking care anymore. And I love Lil Nas X. I love the fact that he was able to literally bring together a 9 Inch Nails sample with his like relatively simple lyrics, simple beat, and then fucking Billy Ray Cyrus be on the top of the charts for so long, infiltrate the country charts, and then he comes out publicly, and I'm just like, I love him. I love him. He was on the top of the country charts, and then was like, y'all, I'm gay. And it was just like, a gay black rapper was on the top of the country charts, and I love it so much because country music is so fucking terrible. So I love this EP he put out. 7 is the name of the EP. Panini is great. The music video for Panini is so good. If you guys haven't seen it yet, it's fantastic. Yeah, Rodeo is great. He's just been able to mix up all these genres. It's really cool seeing young artists like him be embraced in a way that's like new and different, and him just like cashing in on it and killing it and still managing to be like a nice dude. Like, I've seen interviews with him and I'm like, he seems like the coolest, nicest guy. The songs are catchy. I don't fucking care. I love it. I would see him live if he tours at some point. I don't know. Yeah, I love Lil Nas X. He's great. He's great. And I don't care. Okay, now we're down to the final 2. It sounds like I'm talking about The Voice. The final 2. Oh, except my sister makes me watch The Voice, and I'm like, I don't care, Libby. So, we have Actionesse's The Deep Bright Below. I love Actionesse with my whole damn heart. They're a band that I started seeing them live and I was like, wow, I fucking love them. They have like a horn and the loudest, most confusing melodies. I think Patty said it best where he's like, I don't want you to hear something more than once. Like if you hear something that you like it, I don't want you to be able to hear it again to the point where you need to either buy the record or come see us live again. Like it's unlike anything I've listened to before, and they call it post-horncore, and they have aspects of ska. I know ska is a scary word because I hate ska. They have just enough aspects of ska to where I still really love it because, like I said, I hate ska. Yeah, it's just loud, thrashy horns, guitar, bass, like dissonant chords, and just, again, like one of the best live shows because they have so much goddamn energy, and it's one of those records and it's one of those bands that I truly can look to when I am wanting to get the rage out because that's what the music does. That's what it does. One of their previous records, they have a song called Shark Hunting that's literally about sharks. You guys are making rock music about sharks?
Fuck yeah.
Sharks are underrated creatures that I would love to get a tattoo of one day. I love sharks, and I love Actionesse. The Deep Bright Below is fantastic. If you like loud shit that maybe confuses you at first, check them out.
Next.
So you know how like 2 minutes ago I mentioned that maybe Run the Jewels would like pop in and just be like, surprise bitch, we have LP4, and then it was gonna like fuck up the game and I was gonna be like, well, that's gotta be on my list. They didn't do that, but Harry Styles did. Harry Styles of One Direction fame and his own beauty and magnificence released his sophomore album Fine Line, and oh my god, I'm a I'm not gonna say a Harry stan, a Harry Styles fan now. What the hell? That whole album is beautiful, but Adore You, amazing. Watermelon Sugar, amazing. Fine Line, the title track, ooh, so good. And then obviously Lights Up, beautiful. She, Falling, oh, the record is amazing. It's so good. I want to buy it on vinyl. Who am I? He's coming to Tacoma in August. I want to photograph it. Who am I? Harry Styles is just killing the game. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud. Who am I? I don't know. Let's get back to the regular video that I recorded. And last, is this last? 1, 2, 3, 4. I talked about 11, but I don't care. The last album we're going to talk about is from some of my favorite people. Disappearing Someone by Ravenna Woods. You guys know how much I love them? Disappearing Someone is Ravenna Woods' newest album, and it's the first full-length they've put out since 2013, when I first became friends with them, so it's been like a whole 6 years. And it was well worth the wait because they put out an EP a couple years ago. I've been hearing these songs for so long that I was like, finally, I can buy it. And you guys are like releasing it as official music. And I love it. It's such a good album. It's, again, like a natural progression from the last one, which was the Jackals. And it takes all these new influences that the guys have kind of explored in the last few years. God, it's been so long. Particularly, my favorite songs off the record are Grinning Heart of Darkness, Litched, Crooked Folks, Oh Hysteria, Black Car, and Plague Dogs. I mean, they're all fantastic songs. Like, they're all great songs. The fact that I'm like, my favorites are half of the album says a lot. I've talked about, I think, almost all of these songs as songs of the day, and I've helped them with music videos, so you guys have probably seen all kinds of stuff from them over the years, and was this my favorite album of the year? I don't know. Now I'm flashing back to when I first met the guys 6 years ago, when I included Jackals. Their last full length is my favorite album of the year. Well, it's my favorite Seattle album of the year. And then they saw the video and they was like, wow, somebody on the internet likes our music and talks about it enough to put it in a video. And then I met them and then friendship ensued. So yeah, I'm getting nostalgic now and oh God. Ravenna Woods, you snuck up on me in the best way possible because the Jackals is phenomenal. Definitely one that you guys should check out. There's a bunch of music videos for it now. You should also check those out. I will leave links to those in the description, some of which I helped on. If you could watch them, that would be awesome. Thanks. That was my year in review, my musical year in review. Like I said, I'm not gonna stop doing it. Maybe at some point, at the beginning of January or some point in January, I might do some sort of like retrospective on like
2010 to 2019 music.
Because it's been a wild decade. It's been a wild decade, y'all. The 2000 teens. It's been a weird decade. And 2019 has also been a weird year, so definitely check out this music. I think it expresses how weird this year has been. So if you need some rage, if you need some complicated melodies and stuff, check out the albums I talked about. Like I told you, I wasn't gonna talk about any fucking pop music except for Lil Nas X because
take my horse to the old town road.
Literally, Trent Reznor won a CMA because of Lil Nas X, and that is fucking hilarious. So, yeah. Okay, you have no song of the day because you have 11 artists to listen to. So, I don't know which day in Vlogmas this is, but I will see you all in my next video. Okay, bye! Which is tomorrow. See you tomorrow! Okay, bye!